Hey everybody, Marco here, and let's do another batch of Nurikabe puzzles. This one's probably going to be a little bit shorter than the other episodes I did, which were like an hour each. I don't have a lot of time today, so I'm just going to do maybe two worlds here. So we'll do the last level here in variation, and we're going to do the first one for advance, I think. So let's start with paired lines. I guess this is gonna be... If it's gonna be paired lines, then maybe it's going to be about pairs and lines in the same puzzles. So let's start here. I think something that I can see here is that the 5s and this 5 either pairs up with this 4 or with this 4 above. It can't pair up with the 3 or the 7s down below. And if it pairs up with this 4, we're going to have some water separating this group and this group down here, which is going to be disconnected. So since we need the water connection to happen over here, we connect the 5 and the 4 on the left side, and the 3 and the 4 on the right side. And now we just need to fill in some water here to make this an actual 14 cell region. And down at the bottom here we have 20 cells. These are going to have to connect along the border. So that is going to be 13 cells, and we just need to make sure not to form a pool, and we have that. Alright, primordial soup. Lots of 1s and 2s here. Let's start off with the bottom right. We can see a 1 and a 2. If these do not connect, like on the bottom right corner, there's going to be water here, and that's not going to be able to connect to the other water, so that gives us this right at the start. And this bit of water has to connect to the rest, so we're going to have the water flow out like this. That gives us this 2 and 1. This 2 connects to this one down below, because if it goes here, we connect to too many numbers. This bit of water here is now fenced in by all these numbers and has to escape going around like this. This 2 connects to this one, this 2 connects to this one, this 2 connects to this one. It's all making 3s. This 2 and this 1 are connected because this cell has to be filled in, otherwise it'll pool. This 2 is connected to this one, meaning all of this here is water, but we don't know how that resolves yet. This one is connected to this 2. This one is connected to this 2. This one is connected to this 2, and this bit of water needs to connect to the rest. There we go. I've been fooled before. Okay. I guess the point of this is just all of these are paired, but this one here is by itself. Alright, anyways, these ones here, they have to find a partner, but they cannot touch each other, so they have to be split up. And because of the bits of water in between them, this one ends up reaching this 4. We've got this 3 going out. This bit of water here has to escape, meaning this 2 goes down here. And I do believe it has to go to this 3, because this 3 or this 2, that's just going to be too much for the size of the region. This 3 is going to keep going out over here, but it can't touch this one. So this one goes down to this 4. This one goes down a little bit more. This 3 connects to this 4, and that makes a perfect 7 region. This one has to touch the 4 to make a 5. This 4 goes out. It does have to take 1 here so it doesn't pool on the left side. And this 4, I guess it's either going to touch this 4 or this 3. Here's my weird argument. If this 2 connects to this 4, this is going to have to be water, right? And the 4 will have to connect to the 3 like so. All of this will be water, and then the 4 and the 2 don't have enough space for a 6th region. So the 2 has to connect to the 3. And the 4 connects to the 4 like so. This is separate. melted, so we have this, and that is a region of size 8. Battleship 2. Alright, we've got lines again. This 3 cannot go vertically, it can only go like this. This bit of water here is isolated because of this hole, so it has to go down. And because all these clues here are straight line clues, we have a lot of unreachable cells, just anything that is not in a straight line from any of these clues. This one's out of reach, this one's out of reach as well. So something has to be here. This one is just out of reach of the 4. These are water as well. And because this corner here forms, this has to connect to the 4 like so. That means this 4 definitely is horizontal as well. This 4 is vertical. And then we have these pockets, which gives us the 3 and the 2. All sorts. Okay, we're going to mix up all different types of clues in this one. I see a bunch of horizontal line clues that are forced to go a certain way here, and we can start with those. This 3 is a pair clue. It can't escape to the top because that is a normal 3 clue, so this goes down here. These are separated. I think this 3 has to go up to connect to one of these 2 clues. Oh wait, they can connect. Actually no, if these connect, this is bad because this 3 doesn't actually reach another 3, so I actually think this is water here, with this 3 going down to connect to this 3. And these 2 clues are going to connect as well. So now I think reachability stuff happens in the bottom right. These 2 3s can only take 1 more cell here. These 3s take 5 cells, so 4 are already given, and then these flip-flop, so they only reach up to here. This 3 can only go up to here, so this is unreachable. That gives us 2 pockets, which we have to fill. This one as well. That means these 3s take none of this, so they have to go fill in that pocket. This bit of water here needs to escape, and it's going to go between the 3s like so. It's going to hug the right side. This bit of water hugs the left side. This 3 does not touch the pair 3. This 2 is flip-flopping by itself. I think the 3s here, they cannot reach these cells, but that creates a pool here, so that gives us our 3s and our 2. Parallel lines. Okay, we've got the 4, we've got 2 line clues here, and the rest are just normal clues. This 4 cannot go horizontal, so it's got to go vertical. This 4 goes out a little bit and then flip-flops here. Right. Now this 4 cannot be vertical, because if it is, like this, all of this next to it will be water, and that forms pools, which is bad. So this 4 has to be horizontal. That gives us the 7 here. This 5 goes up here and then takes one of these. I think the 7... it can only reach up to these spots, so all of this here is water. So that gives us our 5, as well as our 7. Now this cell here has to be land, and that's going to connect to the 6 because the 4 doesn't have enough space. This bit of water needs to connect through the rest through this spot here, going around the 6. Nice. Diagonal fun time. Perfect. What the hell is this? Okay. So the ones cannot connect, right? Because if the ones connect, that's a 2 region and we don't have enough for that. So this one's going to connect diagonally to the 2. That's going to form a region of size 3. That's perfectly fine. This 4 is going to escape to the right and connect to this 2. this is going to expand to 6. We have a 3 over here. And I do believe this 3 is going to hug the corner and connect to this 4. Because that's the only number it can reach. If it goes to anything else, first of all, it's not going to be, the numbers aren't going to be big enough. And second of all, there's going to be a bit of water on the top left corner that's going to be disconnected here. So we actually have to hug the wall. And that forces all these number connections here. This one is, because we have water over here, this one is going to go to the right and connect to the 2. This 3 is going to connect to this 3, and this 6 is going to pair up with this 1 as well, hugging the wall in the same way. We're going to have a bit of land here that connects to the 3s. This bit of water connects, so we have this resolution for the 3s, and actually the same pattern for the 2 and the 4. Closed core. Okay. These 1s connect. These 3s are diagonally separated. This 3 is going to go down because this 3 means it can't go across. I think this 3 goes across here because if it goes up, it creates this pocket of isolated water, and that is bad. This has to be water here to separate the 4s. So we have this situation here. For this 4, this here is land. If this is water, we don't have enough room, so this is land. And then it flip-flops between these spaces, so this is water. These bits are water because the 3s flip-flop between horizontal and vertical orientations. But in one of these, this has got to escape. Like, we can't have this thing happening for the 3s. So let's see what we can do here. This is all just going to be barely unreachable for the 4 and the 3. I don't think the 3 can go like this because that means this will pool, so this bit here is water as well, which gives us the way our 4 is going to go up top. Now it's either this or this for the 3. Either way, I do believe this thing here has to be land, because if this is water, this is going to be water as well, so this is land. 4 goes up here because no other numbers are big enough. I feel like I should be seeing something a little bit more obvious, but I don't quite yet. Is there a direction that one of the 3s definitely can't go in? Yeah, I don't think this 3 here can go down, because if it does, which number is going to occupy this space here? This 4, and this 3, they're all too far apart. So this 3 is actually going to go horizontally, which means this 3 can't go vertically now, since that would isolate this bit of water. So we have this 3 going to the right. And this cell here has to be occupied by the 7. And now the way we're going to resolve this is this 7 needs to reach something in this 2x2 area to prevent it from pooling, and something in this 2x2 area, so we're going to end up with this land pattern. That gives us the 4 as well. And now this bit of water here goes all the way to the right and loops around here up top. It needs to connect to the water on the bottom left by going through this path here. And then I believe it does cross this second column border line in this spot. I mean, the border line between the second and the third column. It has to pass through these somewhere, either here or here, and it can't do that. And now, how do we connect to the water over here? Okay, I think the thing I see is we need to loop around the 6 here, and this is the maximum thing we can do. So like both make this a 6, but make the water still go around. And now we just have to make sure the 4 and the 3 are all satisfied. This is definitely land. I don't think this can be water because these two being land makes the 3 not work. So this is land. Nothing reaches this spot. Nothing reaches this spot. This is the 4, this is the 4, this is the 3. Okay, starting to get pretty complicated. Exclusive pattern. Alright. So this is a single 2 and this is a paired 2. This is a single 5 and this is a paired 5. I see how this is going to work. Okay. And we just have a random line here for some reason. Okay. This one is going to connect to this 2 on the corner here because if this is water, that's bad. This 2 is going to flip-flop between these spots, so this is water. I think the pair clues are going to resolve something like this. This 3, it can only connect to this 2. Because going around the right side doesn't work. If the 3 connects to the 5, it technically can, but that leaves the 2 stranded. So these are going to pair up. And they have to connect like this to make the connection work within 5 cells. That means the 3 goes out like so. This cell here is unreachable, means the 2 goes down here. This bit of water goes out. This 3 is restricted by the 2 to go like that. Now this bit of water has to connect to the rest. This 2 over here has to connect to the 3 now, because if it connects to the 5, there's not enough that's going to separate the water. I think the 5 here has to connect to the 3, but it has to do so while hugging the wall. So this bit of water is going to go out. This 2 is going to flip-flop. And now the only other paired clues are this 3 and this 5. They have to pair up, and this is the only way to do so within 8 cells. This cell here is unreachable. This cell here has to be reached by the 4. If this is shaded, this is shaded. So the 4 goes down like so. There has to be a water connection on the top, along the top, to connect this water that goes on this side with the water that goes on this side. And in general, this water has to connect through this spot as well. That gives us a little bit more. Now that we're connecting this water, we need one more cell over here for the 4. This 4, this line clue cannot go up anymore, so it goes to the right. And now, with this bit of water connecting to the rest, we finish the 3 and the 5. This 2 goes down, and this bit of water connects here. There we go. That's the variation pack done. And let's take a peek into Advance. Morse code to start with. Okay, we have Morse code shaped gaps. I think this is just going to be sort of easier, but easier in quotation marks, levels, which are fairly standard Nurikabe variations with the gaps though. I could not actually tell you what this is in my head, but I do know a friend who can do Morse code in his head. So I'm sure he's gonna have a fun time saying what this here is in the comments. We've got 2s and 1. Those are separated here. This cell here is unreachable by this 4. This is going to flip-flop here, so this is water. I think this cell here is unreachable. This as well. I wanted to make a corner here, but I just can't. Dang it. So this cell here is unreachable by the 4, but this doesn't really give us a lot of information. This is starting to get tough. I see a way for the top to resolve, and it's tough to see. We need a water connection between, let's say this is the first 2 rows and the 4th and the 5th row here. It's gonna happen through like one of these bridges. And if it happens through this bridge, that fully encloses the 6 area here, but that is bad because this single tile of water is isolated. Oops. So we're going to have to make the bridge over here and connect this bit of water up above. So that gives us the water connection from this these first 2 rows to the second group of rows. The 4 definitely has to take this cell, because if it doesn't, this pools. That gives us the 2 orientation, which gives us some more water. The 6 is going to flip-flop between these cells, so this is definitely water. Okay, this is rough. I don't fully see a path here. I think the 5 has a lot of things it needs to take care of on the left. It needs to hit something in this 2x2 here, so like this or this or this to prevent pools. That leaves only one more cell free, so to the right it can only reach here or here. This cell here is unreachable, which gives us the orientation for the 6. Oh, this bit of water here on the left is locked in and needs to connect to the rest through this passageway here. That gives us the 5. This bit of water here needs to connect to the bottom. It can't do it through this passageway here because that's blocked by the 3. It has to go around the 4 like so. Okay, this opens it up a lot. This bit of water here needs to go down to connect. Oh, this 4 goes to the right because of that 4. This bit of water here connects as well, and now this little chunk connects through the bottommost row. So we have this resolution for the 4 and the 3. This 3 connects to this spot to prevent pools, and there we go. Unlikely snowflake. Okay, first things first, we have a bunch of 1s. We have a bunch of 3s, which are line clues. They extend out. So this pattern here is sort of given to us at the start, and now it's going to diverge a little bit with different number clues in all these sectors. This 2 and the 4 being diagonally next to each other just gives us this 2 to start. This bit here cannot be water because then this is water, so this has to be land and it has to connect to the 4. This bit of water connects to the rest through this little bit here. So this 3 goes here. And that makes for a lot of unreachable cells. The 5 can only go up to these spots. The 3 can only take 1 more. And the 2 can't take any of this. So all of this, yeah. And actually the 3 has to take one of these 2 cells. So the 3 cannot take this cell. This one here goes to the 5. 5 has to take this as well because this can't be water. It needs to connect to the rest. And there we have some water on the left. And I sort of already see how this is going to go because we have this 2 here sort of breaking the flow of the water. this bit of water here is disconnected from this bit of water on like the bottom right and the bottom left. So we have to loop around the grid to connect the water. This bit of water goes out here to connect to the rest. And we actually get this here just by filling out the pools. This bit here is unreachable, so the 4 has to go here, but the water still has to connect, so it goes around the 4. This 3 goes down. It has to either take this or this to prevent both of those from pooling, so this is water. This 4 can only go up to here. All of this here is water. That gives us the 2 and the 4 here as well. That gives us the 3. Now this corner here has to be filled. That goes to the 5. This spot here can't be water by itself. We have the same deduction with the 3 again. Either of these 2 cells has to be land. This cell here is unreachable. This is unreachable, this one as well, so the 3 goes up to this point. This bit of water has to connect on this spot. This spot is unreachable, so these are filled in. Same sort of deductions we made earlier. This spot is unreachable. This has to connect to the 4. And now we just have to make sure this 3 is a 3. It's going to... If I shade this cell, all of this has to be shaded as well. That forms a pool, so the 3 has to go 1 to the right. And then the water has to reach around. Damn. These are getting rough. Alright, power of 2. Okay, it's got a bunch of adjacent clues which are... Well, it's got all clues which are powers of 2. 1, 2, 4, and 8. We'll focus on the 1s and 2s first. How these, like, flip-flop. This cell here is unreachable between the 4 and the 2. So this cell here has to be reached by land, because if this is water, then this is water as well. This cell here is filled. Oh, these 2 4s. This 4 and this 8 as well. Those are going to be good starting spots, I think. This 4 loops around like so. This bit of water has to connect to the rest, which gives us the 2 orientation. And this bit of water goes out. This is in a corner. So the 2 goes like so. This bit of water here needs to connect to the rest. It goes up. Now this 4 hits the 4 in the center. This bit of water goes up, 1 up. This 4 goes to the right. It definitely goes 1 down because it can't go 2 up. So this bit of water goes 1 down. The 2 8s are going to have a lot of room in the top, so I think the big deductions are going to happen in the bottom where there's a lot of small clues. This 4 is either going to take this cell or this cell here, so that this here doesn't pool. I think this cell here is unreachable as well as this cell. This 4 and this 4... Oh wait. No, this 8 could technically reach this, but I think that... No, it can't, because the 4 and the 2 block this. Okay, never mind. These are totally unreachable. So we're going to take this corner here with the 4 on the bottom, and this 4 in the middle goes to the left to fill in this corner. Now this 4 flip-flops between these spots. This is definitely water. That gives this corner here, which this 4 reaches. And it can't take the high road here because that'll form a pool here, so it definitely goes down here to start, which gives us this 4. This bit of water has to go out, so we have this bit cascading over here. This 2 has to go up. This cell here has to be occupied by the 4 so that this bit doesn't pool up. This bit of water escapes here, this 8 goes up. Now we are in a situation where this bit of water on the upper left needs to connect to the rest of the water down here. It has to go around this 8. If it takes this spot, it creates this corner here, which the 8 would have to fill in, and that's bad. So the water goes up like so. This bit of land is filled in, which is going to connect to the 8, and the water is going to go above it. We're going to need one more cell of land here, and it's going to go like so to prevent pools from forming. This 8 is going to go out a bit, the water is going to go around it, and it's going to take this corner and fill it in. And now we just have 9 cells up top, and we make a mate. Perfect. Pom-pom. Okay. Okay, this is pretty big. There's a 23 clue over here. Let's just do this step by step here. Besides the 23 clue, which is pretty big, there's a lot of small clues and a lot of small interactions. I can see these 3s over here. If they go down, that's bad for both this 4 and the water. That's isolated here, so we resolve those like so. This flip-flops here. We have the 4 going down like this. And this bit of water here has to connect to the rest. It can't go through this bridge on the left, so it's got to go down the bridge on the right. We're going to have a bunch of cells here which are unreachable by this 4 and the 2s. Though this doesn't actually give us our resolution over here. Oh, this 4 has to go out, of course. So it does actually work out. This 3 flip-flops here, but I don't think that's going to give us anything too big. This 5 can reach this cell and this cell, but not this here. This is unreachable as well. I don't think the 5 reaches this spot here anyway, because that fences in this bit of water at the top. Oh yeah, I should mark this one as well. So here's the thing about this. If this bit is water, this is going to be water as well, and it's going to pool. Meaning this here is land. And this is going to connect to the 23. There's going to be water here separating that from the 4. This bit of water is going to go out as well. This bit of land is going to go out, and it wants to reach the 23, but it can't go up here because this 2 is in the way, so it has to go down. And this bit of water still has to connect, and it's got to go over here to reach the rest of the water. This bit still can't go up here because of the 2, so it's going to go down here further, and that's how we get this connection to the 23. And we do want the 23 to reach this area here as well. Something here has to be land, and it can't go up here to connect the 2, so it's going to go over here. Something over here has to be land. And let's just do counting. 5, 10, 15. If this were to be filled in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 20, 23. So this is truly this region being maxed out just to hit this spot here. But yeah, this bit of water has to go out. This bit of water has to go out as well. And this bit of water has to connect going around here. And yeah, we get the 2s and the 3s to go around it. This 3 has to fill in this corner. This bit of water has to go around it. This bit of water has to reach the rest here. And it has to cross this line here So it's either taking these two cells or these two cells. It's taking these two so that the 4 has enough room. This 4 goes out over here and flip-flops between these spaces. This has to be land, it has to go to the 5. And there we go, just get the water around that. That was pretty neat. I'm excited for these endgame levels now. Bowl, okay. Looks like we have a little bit of a cooldown. This 10 has to escape here, giving us the orientation for the 2. This 4 is going to go over here. Now we do need the water to connect. This little bit needs to go to the rest of the water here. So it's going to hug the right wall. That gives us our 4. And I think this bit of water here hugs the right wall as well to go around this 4. This cell here is unreachable. The 3 has to get that. This water goes out. This cell here has to be land so that we don't have a pool. That gets separated from the 2, so it goes up here to the 10. This bit of water connects to the rest. And now this 10 has to escape. It goes over the 2 like so. This bit of water has to connect to the rest as well. Goes in this spot. We need 3 more cells of land for the 10, so it's got to go at least 1 more in this direction. The 2 flip-flops over here, so this is water. This 6 definitely has to go down a little bit more. So this water has to go down to connect to the rest. Now this 6, this 10 takes 2 more here. This cell here is unreachable. This cell here cannot be land, because if it is, this is water and it's separated, so this is water. And now we need to cross this line between the 3rd and the 4th columns with this water segment here to connect this to the rest. So it's either going to go this way or this way, and this way here breaks the 4, so we go this way. Now this corner has to be filled in. This corner gets filled in for the 6. The water goes between the 6 and the 10 like so. The 10 has to take 2 more cells, so it definitely goes down 1 here, which gives us this water connecting to the rest, and the 10 finished. This bit of water still needs to connect. And there we have the 3. And this cell here has to be reached, so that gives us the 6. That was actually, I thought that was going to be a breather, but that was very interesting theory. Pyramidion. Okay, this bit here is unreachable by the 3, which means this is water and goes out. So this bit here gets filled in so that it doesn't pool. And that gives us the entire 3 down there, actually. This 9 here is fairly restricted in the sense that it has to... These are the 10 spaces it can reach. But it can so it takes all of these but 1 space. So the ones that it can sort of lose from this configuration are here, 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 and here. All of this rest is definitely part of the 9. This is definitely water. Because if the 4 goes over here, it breaks this 4. This 4 definitely has to take 2 more cells in the right direction, so it goes something like this. Now this bit of water here separating the 4s, it has to connect to the rest to the rest of the water, so it goes down here, and that actually gives us the 9. Splitting up this 4 and this 2. This 4 gets completed. This 4 flip-flops between these spaces. I do see an unreachable spot over here. The 4 can't go up, the 3 can't curve, the 4 can't go straight here, this 3 can also not reach it, and then we also only have 5s and 4s left in the rest of the grid. That gives us the 3 and the 4. And actually almost our entire left side of the puzzle. This 5 over here can't go to the left because that locks in the 4, or that restricts the 4 to only these cells. So it goes down. And what next? This cell here is unreachable. And I was going to say it can either be the 3 or the 5. However, the 5 has to take this cell here. So it can only go 2 cells in this direction anyway. This cell here is part of the 3. And because the 5 definitely goes, it can only go 2 cells in this direction, this here is unreachable. So we have the 5 definitely taking this cell. And definitely either taking this path over here and this, or this path over here to connect to this cell. And it's going to go like so to prevent this pool from forming. This cell here has to be reached to prevent this pool, and that connects to the 4. The 5 is a little bit too small. The 5 has to reach this spot, and there we have the 4 on the top. Outside in. Okay. We have a lot of pairs here for the 2s. Straight lines for the 3s up above, and the 4s are just normal, and these are a bunch more paired 2s. Okay, a lot to start with. Let's see. This 3 here only has one way it can go. It's got to go up. And that gives us a weird water separation argument that we pretty much use right away. There's going to be water in the center here that's going to go out, and it's going to have to loop all the way around to reach this bit of water here in this bit here. This 3 can't go like this because that isolates the water, so we have the water going out like this. Same thing over here. These 3s have to be horizontal as well. This 3 has to go down. We have this bit of water here separating the 4s. And there still needs to be water passing through here, so this 4 has to hug the left wall. Same sort of thing here. If this is land, then it has to, the 4 has to go like this, and that breaks it. So the 4 only has this space remaining, so it's got to take this spot, and then it flip-flops between these, making this water. Oh, but if the 4 goes like this, then this pocket has to be filled in. That's bad. So we have this pattern for the 4. Now the water goes down here to connect to the rest. Let's see if we can do something with the 2s first. I think there's only one partner for this 2, and that's this 2 over here. If we try to connect to any other 2, this is the only option. We have this bit of water here on the top left of the center square that's not going to reach the rest. So we have to connect these 2s, and we have to do so by hugging the wall. That gives us all the other 2s as well. Okay, so that was sort of a separate sub-puzzle, I guess. These 2s are going to connect. And they can't take any cells outside of this 2x3. These 2s are going to connect as well, and they can't take any cells outside the 2x3, this 2x3 area. These as well, they're going to connect, and they only do it in one of these 3 patterns. Meaning all of these cells here are unreachable. So we're going to have to fill in the corners here. And then we end up with this situation here for the 4. This cell here is unreachable, so the 4 goes to this corner. So this here will all be water. And this 4 has to reach this corner, so this here will all be water. And then we resolve it by just filling in the corners. Dang, that's pretty neat. Moth? Okay, more animal puzzles. This 2 and this 4, there's only one way they resolve over here on the bottom. I'm gonna try to breeze through this one a little bit more because I'm getting tired and I need to be up earlier for work tomorrow. But yeah, we have our standard sort of low number clues here. And they do interact with in some weird ways with the irregular grid shape. For example, this 6 here, it's definitely going to have to take this cell, and if it does, it takes these 2 cells above as well to not isolate that part. This 3 goes out. This part here is water, so it doesn't flip-flop. These 2's flip-flops and fill in these cells here. This bit here is unreachable. This 11 can't go to the right because that would isolate the 3. So we have the 11 definitely going up, which actually resolves a lot down here. This cell here is unreachable because the 2 is over here, sort of blocking it. And I do actually think the 11 needs to go up into the top left corner here because, let's say hypothetically it didn't. This 3 can only reach this spot. This 6 can only reach, take 2 more cells. So all of this here would be unreachable. And this is just 2, so I think the 7 goes up and takes at least one of these cells in this particular 2x2. This cell here is land. I think this water here still needs to connect, so it's actually going to have to go around, like so. So this connection is going to happen between the 11 and this bit. It can go like this. That's still fine, I believe. Or no, it's not, because now this bit of water here, since these are sort of connected in some way, this bit of water needs to connect to the rest of the grid as well, and it has to go around the 11 on the right side. So it's going to go here. And it's going to connect to this bit over here, since I don't believe it can connect up. Since we need 3 more bits of water for the 11. I mean, 3 more bits of land. We definitely have to take this, because if we fill this in, we only have 2 more candidates. And if we have this bit here, we need to fill in this corner. So now this 11 can either take this or this. I'm guessing it's going to be like this for connectivity, but let's see how the rest of the grid goes. I sort of see a similar argument here with the 6. Something has to reach this pool. It can be prevented by the 2 or by the 4 up above. So it's going to be the 6 in particular. This spot over here can still be reached by the 7 or by this 6. Oh, but this is... I overlooked this corner here. This has to be water now. So this is land, and that connects to the 7. Since this 3 splits up the water over here, the water goes around like so. Oh wait, I just can't count. This is 11 by itself. It is getting late, my apologies. We do have the 7 over here. This bit of land has to connect to the 6 now, so this is sort of already an implied 4. It can also go like this, so we don't necessarily have to shade this spot. I don't believe the 6 can reach this anymore. So if this spot were to be land, it would have to connect to the 7, which separates the water, which is bad. So the water definitely goes over here. The 7 either takes one more like so, or like so. Either way, this is land. That doesn't give us much. Oh, but the water, this bit of water here definitely needs to connect through either this part or this part. And it's going to go here to not block in the 7. Now the 6 has to go down here as well. And I do believe this bit is here is unreachable, and we prevent pools. And there we go. Just make sure the water is all connected, and we have that. And there we have it. I said I wouldn't do too long of an episode, but this is still 15 minutes just for 2 level packs. I can already tell these advanced levels are going to be really tough. So yeah, I'm going to be doing these over the next few episodes, and we're going to be finishing this game soon. So please stay tuned for those. Hope you enjoyed. This one was a little bit just because I felt like I had to get a second episode out this week, because that's sort of been my schedule. I record once on a Friday and once on a Sunday-ish. So yeah. Anyways, have a good whatever time of day it is, and bye-bye.